Blog Talk Radio.
Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics. I'm Taylor Phillips, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show, the 2014 Lions season preview / pregame
Blog Talk Radio
versus the New York Giants. The 2014 Lions season preview, which includes a pregame a preview against the New York of Week 1 against the New York Giants at Ford Field. Sorry, I got a little mixed up in the head here, but I'm good to go. The Lions finished 3-1 in the preseason. The Bills finished 4-0 in their preseason. The Bills lost to the Lions. Wait a minute. The Bills aren't that. The Giants are 5. Wait, the Giants are 5-0. The Giants are 4-0. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I don't know how the Giants did in the preseason. They says here that Pierre Paul says the Giants will win the NFC East. New York defensive end Jason Pierre-Paul believes the Giants are the team to beat in the NFC East. Talking to Stephen A. Smith on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio channel on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio on Friday, Pierre-Paul cut his host short when Smith seemingly was going to say that the Philadelphia Eagles appeared to be the favorite in the division. Pierre-Paul said, quote, "We're going to win it," in a transcript provided by the show. I think Pierre-Paul is out of his mind. They beat the Giants and they beat the Patriots, but this is all exhibition. Those are all exhibition games that the Giants played and won. All 4 or 5 of them, whichever. But first things first. Kyle Meinke previews the Lions' 2014 season by writing from Allen Park, season preview, Detroit Lions set to embark on a new era. The Detroit Lions have a new coach. They have new coordinators and new schemes on both sides of the ball. They even have a new owner. Yet, as these new-look Lions prepare to make their debut in front of the nation Monday night against the New York Giants, their ultimate fate still seems to rest on a familiar face, the face of Matthew Stafford, who quoted, "Absolutely. When you look at successful teams in the NFL, the majority of them are having their quarterback play at a high level. That's something that I've always tried to do and hold myself to that standard. This season is no different," unquote. NFL teams typically go only so far as their starting quarterbacks take them, and the Lions have gone all in with their guy, a talented 26-year-old who hasn't always delivered the goods. So they hired a head coach, Jim Caldwell, who is best known for working a decade with future Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning. And they hired an offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, who is best known for his work as Drew Brees' quarterback coach. Now keep in mind that Jim Caldwell may have had a poor head coaching career in the collegiate level, but previously, he had made it to 3 Super Bowls and won 2 of them as an offensive coordinator, one with the Colts and then one with the Ravens 2 seasons ago. His mentor was Tony Dungy, the head coach of the Colts when they won against the Bears in February 2007. They imported New Orleans' high-octane offensive scheme to Allen Park and made their top free agents signing a receiver, Golden Tate, and their top draft pick, a pass-catching tight end, Eric Ebron. Golden Tate previously won a Super Bowl championship with the Seattle Seahawks. But this has been the summer of Stafford, and now finally we get to see what the fuss is all about. It's time for these Lions to show whether or not they are really something different, something perhaps better. Star receiver Calvin Megatron Johnson quoted, "I believe this is our best chance to win a championship. I honestly believe that, and you've got to buy in." Unquote. Nearly 6 decades of futility would suggest one does not have to buy in. In fact, would be rational not to. So what evidence is there that this team could be any different than the previous 56 editions who wore Honolulu blue and combined for one whole playoff win? The Lions say it is their leadership. They are stacked with veteran talent on both sides of the ball. They return 9 starters on offense and 8 more on defense. And that's with an 18th starter. Linebacker Ashley Palmer simply being outplayed for his job. But the strength of this team remains the offense. The line was among the league's best last year and returns all 5 starters. They'll pave the way for Reggie Bush and Joyke Bell, who last year became the first teammates to total both 500 yards rushing and receiving in the same season. Johnson remains a tour de force at wideout and now has some new complementary parts in Tate and Ebron to take off some of the heat. And then, of course, there's Stafford, who's put up prodigious numbers in the past. He's the fastest quarterback in history to 15,000 yards, yet still is considered an average player at that position. Stafford was top 5 in passing yardage again last season, yet was 30th in completion percentage, 58.5%, and threw the 6th most interceptions with 19. Detroit slipped to 13th overall in points. That's the dichotomy of Matthew Stafford. Brilliant production on the whole, but enough crucial mistakes to mitigate whatever advantage that big right arm might offer. Caldwell's hire was supposed to remedy those mistakes, and there's early evidence to suggest that could be happening. Stafford went more than 2 weeks without throwing a pick in training camp and threw only one interception in the entire preseason this year. Just one lousy interception. That's what we're talking about. Jim Caldwell, baby. Calvin Johnson quoted, "Stafford's in a great place. The Lions could potentially feature one of the NFL's finest offense if Stafford delivers, but to win this division, and that's the goal here, Detroit also will have to sort out its issues in defending the pass. The secondary is a weak spot for this talented team, and that's bad news when you play in the NFC North, which has become a haven for some of the league's best passing offenses. Detroit, meantime, finished 23rd against the pass last year, then cut projected starting cornerback Chris Houston, and didn't add any notable defensive backs in either free agency or the draft. The Lions returned Rasheem Mathis at one corner post, and the 34-year-old has shown no signs that father time has caught him. I don't know what father time means actually, but Darius Slay replaced Houston on the opposite side. Not said, side. Kyle Mikey mistyped that. That happens. Hopes are high that Slay has improved since his disastrous rookie season, and given the personnel, Detroit has no choice but to wish it so. Slay spoke, quote, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. We can be a great secondary. Yeah, man, great. Because we're all a year older and a year wiser. Know what I mean? I'm feeling us. For the Lions to hang with Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers and Jay Cutler of the Chicago Bears, the Lions might be best off just going after Rodgers and Cutler rather than pinning their hopes to the secondary. And they should go after Rodgers and Cutler. Those are the two main targets in the NFC North Division. The front seven is among the league's best, with 6 of the 7 starters back. The lone exception, Tahir Whitehead, also is a returner who simply outplayed Ashley Palmer. And Ndamukong Suh is one of the league's most disruptive defensive tackles and commands near constant double teams. That opens up lanes for fellow first-rounders Nick Fairley and Ezekiel Ansah to wreak havoc up front. That group, along with Jason Jones, could be good enough to apply pressure without any help. But unlike in past years, they won't be asked to. Detroit will play more aggressively under new defensive coordinator Terrell Austin, and that means dialing up the blitz. Defensive tackle C.J. Mosley said, quote, we can hit you any which way. Our offense can have a magnificent game, and our defense can shut any team down. And we have guys on special teams that can knock you out as well. I'd say that's a 3-headed snake. I'd have to agree with C.J. Mosley right there. The Lions' belief in their own talent is evident, and it was central to their dismissal of Jim Schwartz. They think their talent is there to win the NFC North, but lacked the leadership to cash in on it with Schwartz, who dropped the F-bomb to the fans in the very last home game of the season against those New York Giants. The Lions have a chance for redemption and revenge simultaneously. With Caldwell aboard and a veteran nucleus in place, the Lions say, despite decades of evidence to the contrary, this organization is on the cusp of playoff success. Dominic Griola chipped in, quote, I don't know if we're that far away. I always feel like we're a reflection of our leadership, and our leadership is the guy who stands up in front of the team, Coach Caldwell, and he's won a championship. He's won 2. One of my first times meeting him, that's all we talked about. He already has that aura about him, is we are going to talk about championships. And that's the only way you can get there, is if you act like one and think like one and play like one. Unquote, the Lions have talked like champions throughout the off-season, and now is their chance to show whether or not they can play like one. I think they can, especially with Jim Caldwell and his coaching staff leading the ship and leading the charge and riding the entire ship up to the very top of the mountain. I'm going to go ahead and predict that the Lions finish 12-4 overall. I'm not sure how they'll do in NFC North play, but I'm sure they'll do great too. They may lose one or none. Because because again, like I said, with Caldwell at the helm and Lombardi and Austin, the Lions can fix everything. Offense, all parts on offense, all parts on defense, and all parts on special teams. And when they get to the playoffs, I would say at least make it to the NFC Championship Game, and then maybe up to winning their first ever Super Bowl championship. I know Caldwell, Lombardi, and Austin can do it. I really can. So an injury report on James Ihedebo, the safety for the Lions' secondary defense. He is doubtful for the season opener against the New York Giants. Justin Rogers writes in from mlive.com. He also, the Lions will also be without their top backup safety, Don Carey, who didn't practice all week and is listed as out with a hamstring issue. So the Lions are possibly looking at 2 replacements for that game. Either Issa Abdul-Quddus or undrafted rookie Jerome Copeland to start opposite Glover Quinn. Abdul-Quddus played more snaps than any Lions player during the preseason, tallying 6 tackles and 2 interceptions in the 4 contests. The 3-year veteran also has 4 starts under his belt from his time with the New Orleans Saints. Lions rookie defensive tackle Karan Reed, with a shoulder injury, is the only other player listed on the injury report. He's probable, though, which means he could play. For the Giants, the team has ruled out wide receiver Odell Beckham with a hamstring, defensive tackle Marcus Kuhn, Kuhn, with an ankle, and offensive tackle James Brewer with a back. Linebacker John Beeson with a foot injury and offensive guard Brandon Mosley with a back injury are both listed as probable for the contest. Jillian Van Straat from mlive.com does a further scouting report on the New York Giants. I'm going to tweet it right now. Tom Coughlin is entering his 11th season with the Giants. He has won two Super Bowls, both against the New England Patriots, with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick at their helm. The Giants are 4-1 all-time in Super Bowls, with championships in 1986, 1990, 2007, 2011. And as I tweeted it out, you're going to find that the Giants finished 7-9, third in the NFC East last season. Biggest free agent acquisition, running back Rashad Jennings, top draft pick in 2004, LSU wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. with a 12th overall pick. 12th overall. But I don't think that's enough for the Giants to overcome the Lions and their home field advantage and the Lions' disciplined play, most importantly. The home field advantage is only a distraction for the Giants. But the Lions' defensive front is too intimidating, and their secondary has improved, even with two safeties out, probably out. I'm going to pick the Lions to win 42-10. The Lions have way too much offense, especially in the wide receiving department, and they also have Reggie Bush, of course. Matthew Stafford, under Jim Caldwell's wing now, will do a lot better overall. Get this season off to a huge kickstart. So that's going to wrap it up for the 2014 Lions season preview, featuring the preview against the New York Giants. Again, the Lions' defensive front is too much for Eli Manning to overcome. The Lions are going to get, the defensive front is going to get like 8 sacks or something like that. Lots more pass rushing from Dominican Sue and C.J. Mosley and Nick Fairley and Stephen Tulloch. I think the Lions will be just fine. They'll be great. So that's going to wrap it up. Go Lions. I'm Taylor Phillips. I'll be back Sunday at 5 for the Tigers, and for the baseball edition of Taylor's Detroit Sports. Taylor's Detroit Sports Show. TTFN, ta-ta for now.